Excellent question. And the short answer is right now we don't. And getting it is going to take a lot of changes in the regulatory side, but also on the financial and financing side. So look at the Mid-Atlantic market, PJM, where I'm sitting. They recently had an auction for new capacity hit a price cap. That is to say, it went as far as it could possibly go up just on Wednesday of last week, precisely because there's so much challenge getting new power on the grid in order to match the demand profile of data centers. Now, one key element here is that to some extent understanding how much of this data center demand is real, how many projects are seeking out multiple places to build is a little bit uncertain. And secondly, while there are some potential benefits associated with this, if you increase the overall amount of load on the grid, the amount of power customers, you can spread the fixed cost more broadly. But if you're building new things to meet data center demand, which is usually about 24/7, likely to increase the peak load the grid system is sized to, that means you're going to need to build more infrastructure, not just generation, but wires, transmission and distribution to get that power to the customers. So right now, a lot of different states and regions are trying to apportion those costs primarily on the data center or especially hyperscaler customers who have a really strong preference to get on the grid fast and can kind of afford to pay those costs. But obviously the devil is in the details, and the regulations are still being worked out both federally and on the state and regional level.
Yeah, this is happening all simultaneously. And keep in mind, we're in the early stages here of the AI build out and of all these AI data centers up and running. What does this mean in terms of costs borne by consumers?
Right, so that really depends on the particular state and region in which it's falling. In a lot of the U.S., we have these quote-unquote deregulated or unbundled power markets where transmission is handled and costed at a regional level, and then each individual state, and this is true in all cases, has the authority to confirm what retail rates you and I are supposed to pay as ordinary customers, and also to segment those so that, say, industrial customers or business customers pay different rates. So in a lot of cases, they're trying to create new retail rates for data center or large load customers, which require them to pay for all of these new grid upgrades themselves. That somewhat mitigates the cost that's sort of socialized to the rest of us of paying for this new power supply. But the devil's really in the details, as I was saying, right? So some of these projects might not always materialize, and then if that's the case, what guarantee do you have that the data center or other large load customer is going to pay for it? Increasingly, states and regions are requiring money up front, letters of credit, other forms of financial commitment that really guarantee that even if the data center appears more slowly than expected, uses less power than expected, that developer is still kind of on the hook for that cost. And that, of course, introduces some financial risk on the part of the developers and the hyperscalers themselves.
Derek, about 30 seconds left. Are consumers' power bills going up because of AI?
Partly, yes, but it really strongly depends on the region. In California, it's more about disasters and those kind of grid costs. In PJM, where there's a capacity market that's really based on like data center demand far exceeding what's going to be built, their cost is going up. And in the future, we might see the data center cost go up in various states, even where it's not happening now.